guys, welcome to episode 10 of the Tech Check. Before I begin, here's a word from our sponsor.
Today's sponsor is Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. It has creation tools that allows you to create and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer. Anchor also distributes your podcast for you on multiple platforms such as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can make money with no minimum listenership, and everything is in one place to create your podcast. Download Anchor on the App Store or Play Store, or you can go to anchor.fm to create your podcast today. All right, guys, welcome back to episode 10 of the Tech Check. So, we're going to be doing a little bit of a short mini series about PC parts. So, today we're going to be talking about GPUs. So, Vinay, what do you got for us about GPUs?
All right, guys. I know all of us want to build a PC in the future, and for people that don't know what a GPU is, do one of you guys want to explain like what it is and maybe some things you should consider when purchasing one?
I mean, literally a GPU stands for graphics processing unit, if I'm not wrong. It literally just,
Yeah, it is.
or it's literally just the part of the computer that focuses on high-end graphics for whatever you're doing, which is probably going to be gaming, but it's what um, creates better resolution through different power levels of power and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
also for
right?
people like who
It
get
is. You're right.
confused, video cards are the same thing as graphics cards. It's just a different name. And I mean, it's not necessarily only for gaming. Like a lot of like photo or video editing softwares also rely on graphics and CPU. So it's really dependent on what you're trying to build, but graphics are a very core aspect of your PC in terms of video output and frame rate for gaming.
Yeah, the GPU has got to be one of the biggest parts in your PC build.
Hmm.
Mainly because it's literally one of the biggest parts within the actual PC, but also it's crucial to getting good graphics and for a lot of stuff to make your data activities on your PC actually flow well.
Yeah, and I mean, with certain graphics cards, you can also get overclocked versions of it in case you wanna, I don't know, like get better frame rates for the same graphics card. Although like overclocked versions do cost a little bit more, you might as well just settle for like the next like version graphics card instead. I mean,
Yep.
depends on the pricing
Yeah.
at the point, but most of the graphics cards right now, honestly, like the next gen or like the next version of it. So like comparing like the 2060 Super to the 2070, it's only like 10 frames on average of like a difference. So I mean that's one thing to consider when you're buying graphics cards and also looking into overclocking it or not.
You should probably explain what overclocking is if you're gonna, bring it up.
Yeah.
True. So basically overclocking is when so each graphics card has like a stock setting or like stock frequencies, and overclocking it is basically when you manually change like the stock settings to like way higher frequencies, so the graphic card just outputs a lot more for your PC.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
but you're probably
obviously
a bit
one
more
thing you should
cooling because of
consider.
that.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing you should also consider is like the budget that you're working with. I know personally for me, I think my budget, I mean, it's around like $500 to $800, while maybe like Protham and Neeraj probably could have like a budget around, 1,000 to like 1,200 maybe. I believe that's right. But
Yeah, I mean,
obviously budget something. Yeah, you already
Yeah,
got your parts, right?
I already ordered my parts. It was like 1100 total.
Yeah, and you get a good value PC too. I mean, it all depends on your budget. Like obviously, Protham, the graphics card Protham might get, it'll probably be better than the graphics card I might get, because of the budget I'm in.
True. I mean, yeah, if you're when you're considering building a PC, I recommend I recommend spending the bulk of your money on your GPU and CPU, and then like after that your motherboard. But your
motherboard and
GPU and
SSD, but
CPU,
we'll get into that later.
I mean SSD and storage, like not as much as your GPU and CPU. Like you
I
need to
mean,
spend the bulk of your money on your GPU and CPU.
Yes, of course, the GPU and CPU is gonna take on most of your budget when building a PC. But what I'm saying is that the motherboard and SSD, it would probably come second, just because SSD is important for loading screens and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, then again, like usually people just use what they have left on storage. Of course, motherboard and PSU is way more important than storage, because if you get a pretty bad PSU, you could fry. I mean, you can risk frying your entire system because it's happened before for a lot of people
Yeah.
actually. So I mean, storage is honestly like the last thing to look for because
I mean,
like
personally, I think the case is the last thing to look for.
I mean, yeah,
I'm
obviously. Like
joking.
you literally
I'm joking.
can't like buy a case until you have all your other
Yeah,
parts
yeah,
just because of
yeah,
the
yeah. I'm
like if
joking.
everything
Well,
fits.
we should probably backtrack back to the actual topic of today's episode, which is graphics cards, because we're
Yeah, let's
straying
just
a bit
I
away from
agree.
them.
yeah, exactly.
So
All right, guys,
So
guys. So
best companies.
now that we spoke about, what are some things to consider when purchasing a GPU? Now, what do you guys think is the best GPU in the market? I'm pretty sure it's a unanimous decision, but anyone want to say
RTX,
it?
the RTX Titan's the best. Period.
it is. It's kind of insane.
Or
How,
wait, the
how
RTX
expensive?
Titan, RTX Titan X, right?
I think it's just called the RTX Titan.
Oh, all right then. I'm not sure what the RTX Titan X is because I'm pretty sure I saw it somewhere. Well, either way, RTX Titan, really, really good graphics card. Probably the best on the market right now. Since it's RTX, it has ray tracing, 4K gaming, all the good stuff. That being said, it is stupid expensive at $2,500. So unless you want to build a PC for like $10,000, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to actually afford it, if it'll actually work with the rest of your parts.
I mean, $10,000 is a little bit overboard, but probably
And
for
yeah,
like a 5K build.
and I had a question for you guys. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this is correct or not, but I've read online that not many games currently use ray tracing. So do you think it's worth buying an RTX graphics card if that many games don't use ray tracing?
Well, the point of building a PC is that you're gonna have the PC not just for like 2 or 3 years like you would for a console. You're gonna have the PC for like a while, like at least 5 or maybe 10 years, and obviously you're gonna be upgrading, switching out parts and that like here and there. But you're gonna have your PC for a while. So I would say
Yeah,
buying
no.
RTX graphics cards now is like very crucial and like actually very much worth it because although not many prior games now have make use of ray tracing, a lot of upcoming games are actually like I think all of the upcoming games which are like graphically intense are going to use ray tracing or like they actually confirmed that they're going to use ray tracing. So I think
Yeah,
it's
if you paid,
worthwhile getting it.
if you've looked at all of the gaming events we've had in the past couple months, even the past couple of years, if you want to look that far, but like at E3, the PS4 events, the Xbox events, that sort of stuff, all of them, one of the biggest marketing factors is the fact that games support ray tracing. Because ray tracing makes graphics look so much better. We've talked about this in previous episodes. I think it was episode 1, really. But ray tracing is super nice when it comes to
Mhm.
improving graphics.
I mean, also it's like ray tracing is also pretty subtle, but
It makes a
it
massive
has like a
difference.
really good subconscious impact because it you just like the image of the game or like you just like playing the game with ray tracing on compared to ray tracing off because all
Yeah,
of the lighting just seems more natural.
exactly. So yeah, I'm not sure. Saying how previous like current games aren't using ray tracing is not really a good reason to stray away from an RTX because
Hmm.
most games in the future are almost definitely going to use it. And even if you're not using it for gaming, like rendering and that sort of stuff, if you're going to use it for rendering or anything like that,
Hmm.
ray tracing is still going to be pretty important, and it could be good for adding more natural light to whatever you're rendering.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's obviously for like the best GPU in the market, although like some, like of the, I mean, like all of the RTX cards support ray tracing. But what do you think some good budget GPUs are?
RTX 2060.
Or is it normal
2060.
people would say
I don't know.
2060?
I felt like saying 2060.
But yeah,
I kind of wanted to put my own spin on it. All right. Obviously, I think the unanimous best budget GPU is the RTX 2060 because it has solid gaming performance and it has great aesthetics and very efficient cooling from what I've heard in articles I've read before.
well, yeah, I can support you on that. The RTX 2060 is a really good graphics card. I've been looking at it personally for my own PC build, only to come across a 2070 for, well, Protham showing me a 2070 for a discounted price, and looking at that instead. But yeah, RTX 2060 is also really good. If you don't want an NVIDIA graphics card, you could always go for a Radeon RX 590, which is another really, really good graphics card for a good budget. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of have to disagree that the RTX 2060 is unanimously the best budget, just because Radeon's graphics cards usually have the same performance, although it's a little less powerful than the RTX, or like basically GeForce's graphics cards. But Radeon's graphics cards are just a lot more cheaper, or not a lot more, but they are cheaper. Basically, I mean, like, although like Radeon, is a lot cheaper, getting GeForce graphics cards are also really good. I mean, either one, AMD or NVIDIA graphics cards, they're a really good buy when you're building your PC. So I think that's all we have for GPUs.
I think that's it. All right, everyone. So thank you guys for listening. Stay tuned for our next few episodes about computers. I believe our next one's going to be about the CPU, so stay tuned for that. Other than that, thank you guys for listening and stay tuned for the next one.